wisdom of Mwari, a story from Shona mythology. In the beautiful lands of Zimbabwe, the Shona people believed in Mwari, the supreme god, creator of the universe and giver of life. Mwari resided in the sacred mountains, watching over the people, controlling the rains, the crops, and the fates of all beings. While distant, Mwari was also compassionate and would listen to the prayers of the people when they were in need. One season, a terrible drought struck the land. The rivers dried up, crops withered, and animals struggled to survive. The Shona people, fearing for their future, decided to send their elders to the sacred mountain of Modimo, where Mwari was said to dwell. Among them was Nyasha, a wise and humble elder who led the journey. When the group reached the sacred cave, they offered gifts of millet and beads and prayed to Mwari, asking for rain to save their people. That night, Nyasha had a vision. In the dream, Mwari appeared as a great cloud and spoke, "The people have forgotten the balance of the land. Plant trees, care for the soil, and the rain will return." Returning to the village, Nyasha shared Mwari's message. People began planting trees, caring for the land, and working together to restore harmony with nature. Soon after, dark clouds filled the sky, and rain poured down, reviving the earth. From that day on, the Shona people knew that Mwari's blessings came when they lived in harmony with the land. They continued to honor Mwari through prayers and rituals, understanding that the god watched over them, ensuring balance and prosperity for future generations. The Guidance of Modimo, a story from Sotho mythology. In the mountainous lands of Lesotho, the Sotho people believed in Modimo, the supreme god who governed the forces of nature and the spirit world. Modimo was a powerful yet benevolent god, watching over both the living and the ancestors, ensuring harmony between the two realms. The Sotho people honored both Modimo and the Modimo, ancestral spirits who acted as guardians and guides for the living. One year, a fierce storm swept through the land, destroying crops and homes. The Sotho people were devastated, unsure of how to rebuild their lives. The village elders knew they needed to seek help from Modimo and the Modimo. They gathered the people for a sacred ceremony, offering food, water, and prayers to their ancestors, asking for guidance. That night, an elder named Thabo had a dream where the Modimo appeared as shadows in the moonlight. They spoke to him, saying, "Modimo has heard your prayers. To restore balance, you must plant new seeds in the fields and rebuild your homes with the stones of the mountains, which have the strength of the earth." The next morning, Thabo shared his dream with the village. The people followed the instructions of the Modimo, using the mountain stones to rebuild stronger homes and replanting their fields. With the help of Modimo and their ancestors, the land began to heal, and the crops flourished once more. From that day forward, the Sotho people knew that by honoring both Modimo and the Modimo, they could overcome any hardship. They continued to offer prayers and respect to their ancestors, understanding that the spirits and nature were deeply connected, and only through balance and unity could they thrive. The Spirit of Mukuru, a story from Himba mythology. In the vast, arid lands of Namibia, the Himba people lived in close harmony with nature, guided by the wisdom of their ancestors and the powerful spirits of the land. At the center of their beliefs was Mukuru, the great ancestral spirit, who watched over them from the spirit world. The Himba believed that Mukuru communicated through the Ovakuru, their ancestral spirits, who guided and protected the living. One year, the rains did not come, and the Himba's cattle, their most precious possession, grew weak. The elders knew that they needed to seek the help of Mukuru. They gathered around the sacred fire, where they made offerings of milk and meat, calling upon their ancestors to speak to Mukuru on their behalf. That night, a young woman named Chiposa, known for her deep connection to the spirit world, had a vision. In her dream, Mukuru appeared as a great wind, swirling with dust and light. Mukuru spoke, saying, "The land is thirsty, and the spirits of nature must be honored. Offer your thanks to the spirits of the earth, the water, and the sky, and the rains will come." The next day, Chiposa told the elders of her vision, and the Himba people prepared a great ceremony. They honored the spirits of nature with dances, songs, and offerings, thanking them for the land's bounty and asking for their blessing. Soon after, dark clouds gathered on the horizon, and rain began to fall, nourishing the earth and bringing new life to the land. The Himba people rejoiced, knowing that Mukuru and the spirits had heard their prayers. From that day forward, they continued to honor both their ancestors and the spirits of nature, understanding that their connection to the land and the spirit world was essential for their survival and prosperity. By keeping this balance, the Himba thrived in harmony with their environment. The Blessing of Njambi, a story from Herero mythology. In the dry lands of Namibia, the Herero people lived under the protection of Njambi Karunga, the supreme god of life and death. Njambi was the giver of life, the one who watched over the Herero people and ensured the balance between the living world and the spirit realm. The Herero people also believed in the power of ancestral spirits, who acted as messengers between Njambi and the living. One year, a terrible drought swept through the land. The cattle, which the Herero depended on for survival, began to die, and the people grew desperate. The elders gathered the tribe and decided to perform a sacred ceremony to ask Njambi for help. They prepared offerings of milk and the finest herbs, calling upon their ancestors to intercede on their behalf. That night, a wise elder named Kavari had a vision. In his Njambi appeared as a towering figure bathed in light, and he spoke, "The balance of the land has been disturbed. We must restore harmony by respecting the earth and each other. Only then will the rains return." The next morning, Kavari shared his vision with the tribe, and the people vowed to live in greater harmony with the land and one another. They performed rituals of gratitude and peace, honoring both Njambi and their ancestors. Shortly after, the rains came, reviving the land and saving the cattle. From that day on, the Herero people remembered Njambi's message to maintain balance and respect for nature and the spirit. By doing so, they ensured that the blessings of life would continue to flow from the divine. The Gift of Tsui-Goab, a story from Khoikhoi mythology. In the arid lands of southern Africa, the Khoikhoi people lived in harmony with nature, guided by the powerful god Tsui-Goab, the god of rain, thunder, and the giver of light. Tsui-Goab was revered as the protector of the Khoikhoi, bringing rain to nourish the land and ensuring the balance between the people and nature. Alongside Tsui-Goab, the Khoikhoi believed in spirits that inhabited the mountains, rivers, and sky, watching over all life. One year, the land was struck by a terrible drought. The rivers dried up and the animals began to disappear. The Khoikhoi, who depended on the land and its creatures, gathered to pray to Tsui-Goab, hoping he would hear their cries. The elders, led by a wise woman named Khoisin, decided to journey to a sacred mountain where Tsui-Goab's spirit was strongest. At the mountain's peak, they offered gifts of herbs and animal skins, chanting songs of their ancestors and calling upon the spirits of nature. That night, Khoisin had a vision. In it, Tsui-Goab appeared as a great storm cloud, surrounded by lightning. He spoke to her, "The land thirsts because the people have forgotten to honor the spirits of nature. Show gratitude to the earth and its creatures, and I will send the rain." The next morning, Khoisin shared her vision with the village, and the Khoikhoi began to honor the spirits of the land with renewed respect. They offered thanks to the animals, the rivers, and the mountains that sustained them. Soon after, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and the long-awaited rain fell, bringing life back to the land. From that day on, the Khoikhoi people remembered the importance of living in balance with nature and honoring Tsui-Goab and the spirits of the land. They knew that as long as they respected the natural world, Tsui-Goab would continue to bless them with